Canada or Australia? No, you tell me, which do you prefer? Canada or Australia? If you pick Canada, great news. There is an amazing scholarship for you with lots of benefit. If you pick Australia, well, good news. We still have an amazing scholarship with lots of benefit. And in this video, we'll talk about both. And the good part of it is you can apply to both. You can apply to both Canada and you can apply to Australia. However, there's something I need to bring to your attention. If you will apply to Canada, you need to submit your application as soon as possible. Why do I say so? Unless you're willing to pay the application fee, then there is no problem, no hurry. You still have so much time. However, you can have the 125 Canadian dollar waived if you submit your application between today, the 5th of June, and Sunday, the 8th of June, 2025. So if you want to have the application fee waived, then submit your application as soon as possible. That is important, which also emphasizes the need for you to subscribe and turn on notification so that as soon as I release a YouTube video, you'll be one of those to get it early enough. Now, for one of these scholarships, we're going to look at them. It offers accommodation. It also provides you meals and also provide you training if you need to take any other training. And just to also mention, for both scholarships, you do not need an agent. Excuse me. You do not need an agent for any of them. And for both of them, you may also not need a language test. But there's something I have to say here before I go further. Now, both of these scholarships seem very competitive. And some of you might lose heart. And, oh no, it's not for me. But I'm here to tell you you do not have to be the best. You just have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate. The question is, do you want to go for it? Do you believe in yourself that much to go for this scholarship? And if you do, then go for it. You can secure the scholarship. Once again, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be intentional. This scholarship is for undergraduate students. I've always seen the comments and all my videos saying, Brendo, you need to do something for undergraduate students. And this scholarship is for you. It is for you. So if there's anyone who needs me to look at some other scholarship and you want me to make videos tailored to your field or discipline, you can put that in the comment section and I would look into that. Once again, you don't need to be the best. You just need to be intentional. You need to be deliberate and please submit a strong application. So, you know that searching for scholarship is time taking, it is painstaking, it's rigorous. You need to really put in a lot of effort. But I've done that work for you, and all you just have to do is watch. And you can watch this video as many times as you want in the application process to guide you in the step by step process. All I ask for you is please, please apply to this scholarship. Share this video to anyone who will find it interesting. Like, comment, subscribe. It really encourages me to continue to do one. So without further ado, let's now get right down into the video. And we will start with the first one, which is from the University of Regina. So we'll continue from the University of Regina and let's see from that university. So here I will share my screen and we shall look at the University of Regina. So here we have the University of Regina in Canada. We're starting from the Canadian one. I will show you the step-by-step process on how I go to this site. So just type uregina.ca or you go to Google and type the University of Regina and it takes you to this page. And we're going to click on admissions and then go to undergraduate. For those of you interested in postgraduate degrees, I have actually searched for this and I've not found anything. I didn't find anything very relevant unless you want to do your own search. And I would encourage you to do that. So here we have undergraduate admissions. We're just going to click here, international student admission. That's what we're interested in now. Now for international student admission, you could see the different parts here and you can read more on the details, but mainly if you're looking for scholarship, we'll look at it here. For scholarship eligibility requirement and to apply, you need to choose a program. But if you come here to the eligibility criteria or requirements for scholarship, it takes you to this page. Okay. Now, on this page, you have the entrance awards. So mainly, what we have here are entrance award. This one is for the value of $3,000. This is not the one we're interested in. We're interested in this Tier 1 and Tier 2 International Student of Distinction Scholarship. Now, for the Tier 1, it's valued at $80,000, and you're given during the 4 years of your bachelor's degree, which is $20,000, 20,000 Canadian dollars, approximate value every year. Now, it says it applies to all international students applying to an undergraduate degree program directly from high school, and you will be automatically considered. So if you're in high school and you want to apply to this, you can apply to this directly. Okay. And it also says international students selected for Tier 1 will be awarded free on-campus housing and free meal. Good stuff. So you've got your accommodation and you've got food covered. That is brilliant. Now, students must have a minimum early conditional or overall final school average of 90%, which means you must be among the top 10% of your school. Yeah, so you can actually do that. Just apply for it. And then the award is renewable each year of a student's degree program as long as students continue to complete 30 credit hours. So here says you can retain your scholarship. You can retain the award each year. But that's for Tier 1. Let's look at Tier 2. Now, for Tier 2, all international students applying for the undergraduate program would also be automatically considered. Now, the Tier 2 offers you free on-campus housing. So you get your accommodation covered, but you don't get free lunch or free food. That's just one difference. And here you must have a minimum or overall high school average of 85 to 89.99%. Now, you can do that, okay? If you're in your high school, you should be able to, you could do that, okay? I shouldn't say you should be able to do that. Now, those are the main two we're looking at. For the one for International Student of Distinction Diploma, that one, the deadline is passed already. It did mention April 30, so we would not consider that. So, these two scholarships are automatic, which means when you submit your application, you get automatically considered for this scholarship. However, there is also another one of International Student of Distinction Scholarship. Now, if you are the top tier and a standing academic achiever in your school, you can apply to this one. And this one offers more supportive program, more amazing benefits, one-on-one immigration support, prioritized class selection, guidance on your transition, personalized orientation, welcome reception, social event, every single thing for you if you fall into this group of outstanding academic achiever. So here you have it, guys. International Student of Distinction Scholarship for Outstanding Academic Achiever and extra perks of the Tier 1 or Tier 2. Now, how do you go about applying for this scholarship? Well, another thing you also have to do again is to look at the undergraduate programs. Remember the OLE page I showed you here? So you simply come here and you choose your program. So if you select that, it brings you here. How do you apply to the program? Well, there are 3 steps. The first one is to prepare your required documents. And like I say, if you have this document before Sunday, please submit your application. You need your high school transcripts, your high school transcript. So for those in the final year of high school or junior secondary school, you can also get your transcript ready. Just start applying for them. Your college or university transcript, and for those already who've started. Now, one thing I should also mention in this particular university is you can transfer if you're already in university or in college, you can transfer to the University of Regina. We'll look at the process shortly, but just know you can transfer, and that is why this part mentions college or university transcript if you've already started university program. So those in 100 level or the first year in university, you can transfer if you want. You also need your statement of intent or statement of purpose. You need a reference, and then you need your portfolio component. Okay. Now you can also look at the application guide here, although I've read all of those. Now to submit your application, if you click on these, it simply takes you to a portal where you have to log in. I'll show you that. For some reason, my internet is slow. Okay, wait, it has to show you. Okay, I think it's back now. So you create an account or you log in if you're already an existing user, or you simply create an account. All right, so we just go back to the other process. Okay, now this is where I want you to pay attention to. Here, on paying application fee. It says there is an application fee of 100 Canadian dollars for undergraduate applicants. If you're already in university, for $200 Canadian dollars for post-secondary transfer, that is if you're transferring, 125 for graduate applicant, but we're not looking at graduate applicant. Now, regardless of which one, there is a free application weekend, June 6 to 8. That was what I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video. Free application weekend, June 6 to 8. So apply online, enter the free app as the new waiver code, and you would not have to pay the application fee and just go on and submit it. So please, if you know these tailors to you, if you know you're interested, those asking for undergraduate scholarship, this is it. So please go for it. If you know anybody who would be interested in this, please forward this video to them and tell them to apply as soon as possible. Okay. Now, let's say we go and pick one of the programs, all right? So we pick one of the programs, we just come here. No, now, this Faculty of Education, but we'll come back to Faculty of Education. There's something I really need to draw your attention to. For the application guide, excuse me, for the application guide, this is where you come to for information if you're a high school student or if you're already a university or college student and you want to transfer. It tells you exactly what you need to do. All right. Now, let's say you want to transfer and then we click on this. I hope my internet would not fail me. Okay. And you're an international student. Let's say we'll pick a Faculty of Education, and for Faculty of Education, you choose a country. You could choose Ghana or you could choose Nigeria. You could just choose your country. And for Nigeria, all you need mainly is your WAEC. You need your WAEC certificate for that. And then your post-secondary admission requirement, you should have attempted at least 15 credit hours from a post-secondary education. And your AGPA, because you have not finished, you don't have CGPA, then your AGPA has to be of 65% on the most recent 30 credit hours of post-secondary courses attempted. So you need this particular one. Now, if there's any additional program specific requirements, there is nothing here that really tells us to you, unless particularly this one, which is a Bachelor of Education, and is the same information mentioned above. Now, for the deadline, you have up until July 1st, okay? For fall and November 1st for winter. The spring summer term has a deadline has already passed. So just something to keep in mind for those who want to do transfer. Something similar is also what you find in the one for high school. Now, say supposing we pick a particular one, which is Faculty of Education, how do you go about it? Well, the same thing as always, you submit your application online and you upload your supporting documents. You'll be required to submit a copy of your passport, but you don't have to send your original passport. You don't have to do that. You can just send a clear copy, a scanned copy. And for English language requirements, we have to talk about that. Now, in the English language requirement, there's something I would mention to you. So here will come, so if you click here on the English language requirements, it brings you here. Now, for the English language requirements, it says the following country will be accepted as satisfactory evidence of English language proficiency if your country is on the list of countries. Now, if we look at the list of countries, you find that if you see a yes to it, it means your country is exempt. So that is to say you do not need to submit an IELTS or any language test. If it's a no, there will be a recognized institution that made the language proficiency requirement. Now, if you check for Ghana here, you find Ghana here. It says yes. However, something I notice here, it says for Nigeria, it's a no. But not just a no, it doesn't even list universities. And here again is something I want to say. It does not mean you should not apply to this scholarship because it says no for Nigeria. Do not do that. What I would suggest is you could send an email, so you can always contact them. So on every page, you can always contact the admin. You can always contact the school admission team and tell them that, look, you were taught your 6 years of secondary education was taught primarily in English. You were taught in English. You were assessed in English, so you have that competence to speak English. You have the linguistic and communicative competence and you defend yourself. In fact, you might also need to provide a medium of instruction letter from your from your secondary school to show that you were taught and assessed in English. You could even request for an interview to prove that you have the spoken skills and written skills, writing skills in the English language. Yes, you can do that. However, the challenge here is because if you're looking for the application fee waiver, which ends in 8th of June, it will be difficult. But if you can sacrifice that one, I trust you, or just go ahead and do the application. You can get it, okay? You could get it. I shouldn't say you can. You could get it. The reason I can tell you that is from personal experience. I was told to present IELTS or any other exam, and held my ground strongly that I would not provide this. And I had my reason for that because I've been a language teacher, an English language teacher, and all my university education, everything has been in English language. So why would you tell me to bring IELTS or TOEFL or any of those language exams? I said I wasn't going to do that. But of course, I stood my ground, and after a while, they asked me to, okay, Brendo, could you do a different language test? And I said I would not do any of the tests, not because I'm scared of it, but I would not pay to do any other language test because I already have that competence in the language. Also, being a teacher of the language, even teaching others IELTS and TOEFL, helping them to achieve great grades. And now you want to assess me, I would not pay another money for that. And after a while, they accepted. All I needed to submit them was a medium of instruction letter. So that is one thing I always want you to know. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be convinced. You have to believe in yourself. And sometimes you need to hold your ground too. But because this is a scholarship you're applying for, if your grades are good, if you're really, really good, and you have beautiful results in your secondary school, then go for it. You can actually write to them and you could be the exception. Do not be scared of taking risks. Just go for it. Okay. So that is that on the University of Regina. So once again, go to the internet. I would leave a link to this part in the description. So if you need to go to the University of Regina, just check the description in this video and it will take you there. However, for those from other countries, just check your country. Like if you're here in Scotland, here I am, it's evidently a yes. Okay, and other country, even Tanzania is a yes. Let's check for Uganda. Someone mentioned Uganda on the chat, and if we look for Uganda, Uganda is even a yes. So I don't know why Nigeria is a no. Like I said, Nigerians, you can actually argue against this. Now, that is for Canada. Let's now talk about Australia. Yes, for Australia, it's none other than the Monash University or University of Monash here in Australia. And we're talking about, I'll just zoom this in so everyone can see. So the focus is on Monash International Leadership Scholarship, and it's from Sir John Monash Fee Scholarship. Now, what does it cover? It covers 100% tuition fees paid. 100%, and it's an automatic one. Although here it does mention four per year, so you've only got four. Very high, it's highly competitive. However, you can be one of the four. I tell you for a fact, you watching this can be one of the four. So if you've chosen Australia, you can be one of the four. Don't simply rule this out because you've seen four. You can be one of the four. Now, what are the eligibility criteria? You have to be an international student, but that's just not all. You must have received a full Monash course offer with no conditions. So take note, a full Monash course offer, and you must be enrolling for full time, not part time. But there are some courses that are not allowed, which would be Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, and then the Medical Science and Doctor of Medicine. Both of them are not allowed. The Monash Pathway program is not allowed, and if you're transferring from another Monash campus, not allowed. However, if you're an international student and none of this applies to you, you can just go ahead and apply. Now, the number offered are four, like I mentioned earlier. It covers 100% course fee paid until the maximum number of points. So take notes. However, the fact that you've received this scholarship does not mean as soon as you get to Australia, you just want to relax and you know what, there's something we say, hang your boots. No, you don't want to do that because you have to retain your scholarship every year. So which means every year you must maintain a weighted average mark of 70 each semester. a weighted average mark of 70 each semester. So which means you must give in the A game. You must be on the top of your game every semester. You just want to do well every semester. You don't want to relax. And why would you? It's an undergraduate program anyways, and it's time to just, build that foundation. So that is for this one. And the courses, how do you do it? So now you know there is a scholarship and it's automatic consideration. What do you need to do? Well, just simply click on courses. Once you click on courses, it brings you here. Now pick your relevant field or department, and I would always go for arts, languages, and humanities. And then for arts, language, and humanities, there are different ones, and you pick the one that is you're most interested in. So let's just go for something random and just pick Bachelor of Arts. So for Bachelor of Arts, there is a minimum age. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. It's 17. There's some academic requirements. You don't need maths. Now, for English language requirement, we would look at that in a briefly. Okay, so here you see the areas of study. Here you see the entry requirement, the course structure. So for minimum age requirement, you have to be 17. And for academic entry requirement, secondary school education is okay. Now, I've also done due diligence in this area. For those of you who have ACT or SAT, out of 1600, if you get 1160, 1160, you are fine. However, if you don't have that, and say for example, you look for your list of countries here from China, India, you're good. Now, if your country is not part of these and you click on none of the above, now it takes you to go to this part, study credit and admission eligibility search. Now, I've done the search, and if you search for your country, you might not get any details. What you'll be told then is submit your application, and then you will be told if to apply or not. So you still need to submit your application, all right? So do not allow that discourage you if you do not find any details. If you still need any help, please try to watch this video over again or get to that particular stage where you're confused and watch it again. If you don't understand it, leave a question in the comment and I will respond to your question as soon as possible. Okay, for English language requirement for all the courses, so here we have the English language requirement, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. However, something I want you to pay attention to is you can meet the English language requirement through any of the ways listed if you haven't completed at least 6 years of schooling. However, if you've completed 6 years of schooling, 6 years of schooling in English medium institution in an English speaking country before the age of 19. So for those of you in high school or those who have just completed high school, your 6 years of education, particularly those in Nigeria, you were taught in English language. Those in Ghana as well, you're taught in English language, and depending on the part of the world you're from. But we're going to look at some of the countries listed or eligible countries. If you're taught in English, your high school, your 6 year secondary education is in English, then you do not need to submit an IELTS. Now let's look at the English speaking countries recognized. So here you have as well, you have Kenya, you have Jamaica, you have Ghana, you have Rwanda, and you also have our beloved Nigeria. And somebody did ask about Uganda. So here you have Uganda as well. So if your country is part of the list, then you do not need to submit any other English proficiency test. So there you have it, guys. You have the University of Regina and you also have the University of Monash or Monash University. These two scholarships you can apply to. And once again, I want to say, you do not have to be the best. You can apply to both scholarships. You don't have to apply for one or the other. Yes, at the beginning I said Australia or Canada, but you can apply to both scholarship. And I think you should apply to both scholarship. Cast your bread on many waters. Just keep applying and applying. Just keep applying to any of these, and you can secure the application or you can secure the scholarship. And once again, I want to end this video with all the best in your scholarship application. All the best in your scholarship pursuit.